Welcome residents to this informational video on the eThekwini water crisis brought to you by the Many Voices One Shallcross movement. We ask and answer some common questions you may or may not know the answers to already, but it summarizes bits and pieces of information that are pertinent to the situation. So where are we? Well, some districts have had no water for hours, days, weeks at a time. The interruptions are becoming more and more frequent. Some of the worst hit areas have not had tap water for years. KwaZimba is an example that's cited recently. They've not had tap water for 7 years. Tanker deliveries are all but defunct, with some streets not seeing tankers for weeks or months at a time. Realistically, everybody needs to understand that we are years away from a permanent solution. When did these problems start? Well, they've been ongoing for decades. Lack of maintenance, poor planning, and even worse execution of the most well-made plans have seen poor delivery of service infrastructure. 2019 and 2020, we had COVID, and the impact of teams and municipality workers to go out and provide maintenance and give us the service delivery we need was hampered. 2021 civil unrest and constant vandalism thereafter has only exacerbated the issue. 2022, 2023, you will all know we had floods which damaged infrastructure, aqueducts, reservoirs, that sort of thing. 2024, we've got strike action now over the last couple of days where strikers have destroyed key water infrastructure, bust up water meters, that sort of thing. And the biggest issue we've had is through steady growth and mushrooming populations, demand now far exceeds supply. So what's been done to fix it? There's been a host of new reservoirs that have been popping up in the last couple of years. Hazelmere Dam's wall has been raised to double its capacity of raw water. Mgeni Water increased their treatment capacity in Hazelmere to go from 55 megalitres, that's millions of litres, to 75 megalitres. It's an increase of 20 megalitres, nearly 50% there, with plans for 90 megalitres by the end of 2026-2027. Now, the ability to process all that raw water is important, but we need to have a steady flow of raw water. So the plans are in the Mgeni raw water treatment facilities to redirect and move the Mkomazi River to increase the flow of raw water, and that flow will grow by 55% for projected end in 2030. Please bear that in mind. It's a good couple of years away. Rehabilitation of the Southern Aqueduct, it's been suffering through poor infrastructure, cracks and things like that, and that rehabilitation is supposed to start by April 2024. So some stuff is being done, but is it enough? One. If eThekwini is trying, why are there still problems? Well, try as they might, there's some bad actors that are doing silly things. And I think it needs to come to everyone's attention. It's freely available on the web and Google and different news outlets, and you can follow this up. Weird things have happened. I mean, we found human remains in reservoirs, we found vandalism, locks broken, things bust. Substations in 2020 were torched, Overport, Westville, Mayville, Kwamashu. I know that's not water infrastructure, but still, if our infrastructure is being targeted and sabotaged, that doesn't bode well. 2023, oil is poured into 2 dams, disrupting water to Umlazi and Ishawe, and concrete was poured into a sewer line backing the thing up. Investigators have determined that that was no accident. 2023, Umhlanga side Durban North air valves were found tampered with, and that restricted water flow to communities for days. 2024, recently, as recent as 20th February, an eThekwini employee sabotages the cameras in the emergency services control room, and those cameras are very important for eThekwini's disaster management response. And 7 days later, we have this strike. Who can tell us more? There's some contact details on screen for people who are key in terms of being able to communicate the situation on the ground, what's being done, what the big plans are, and how things are going to be moving forward in the coming years. That information will be in the link of this video as well. And there's also a further link to eThekwini's media briefing and response on the situation and what they've planned. So feel free to contact those individuals. Their information is freely available online, and follow up in the link that I'm going to post with this video if you want to read the full story of what the city's actually been doing to curb this crisis and what their plans for the future are. How can you help? Well, you can help by helping yourself. Keep comms with your local councillor, your CPF, your activist groups, your ratepayers associations in your area. Find out to the best of their ability when the disruptions are coming, and make sure you've got water stored. If you can arm yourself with JoJo tanks or other suitable equipment to store water for long-term disruptions, that's going to help you as well. It'll help your neighbors. It'll help everyone by taking some strain off the grid. Report outages as constantly and as often as you can. If you spot something, take a photograph, report the outage in one of the many applications. There's the WhatsApp line, there's the eThekwini app itself, there's the MySmart.City app. Some of the links for those I'll post in the video itself, the description, so you can follow up there. And I think you would have realized that there's some sabotage going on by now if you've watched this video. So report any suspicious activity, especially in and around our reservoirs, especially if there's potential sabotage looming, and make sure the relevant authorities are involved, make sure SAPS is involved, and make sure your local structures are alerted. That's what you can do. If we are all in this together, which we are, and we all help each other, we can get ourselves out together. Thank you, everybody.